First touch to repeat business with everything automated except the service delivery.
That's a really, really, really good question.
Yeah. Can you see the irony? You want
Whoa, shit.
I've built a six-figure online AI consultation business, and I have personally invested more than $100,000 on coaching programs. For the past 2 years, I've invested in, learned, and developed hundreds of AI processes that have proven itself in real-world business applications. I am not a beginner, and my clients pay me tens of thousands of dollars to help them implement AI in their business. Today, I am going to show you a $20 per month AI coaching solution that I created during a cruise vacation that is superior to a $1,000 per month human coach. Over the past few days that we've been talking, it's helped me declutter and clean out half my house, overcome a limiting belief that's kept me addicted to fast food, understand why I wasn't able to keep a healthy relationship my whole life. If you watch this video, I will demonstrate the proof of concept of this AI coach. I'm going to show you screenshots of the real breakthroughs that I've gained from using it. I'm going to show you how you can set this up for yourself for free, and I'm going to share my thoughts on its implications to our lives and the coaching, consulting, and training industry. Let's start with the demonstration. Yesterday was 25th of December 2024, and I actually wanted to release this video yesterday, but I was looking at the time. Like, I wasn't even done with the script at 11 p.m. and I was feeling conflicted about finishing this video because I was really drained, I was really tired. So this is one of those situations where having a conversation with someone would be very helpful, right? If you had, that would be great, but most of us don't have one. There is an option where people are thinking about, hey, I can actually talk to the AI to brainstorm and see what I should be doing. The first demonstration here is from ChatGPT Pro, the latest O1 model, which costs $200 per month. And when I click this open, understand that the nature of the query, nature of the request, was that I'm feeling conflicted about it, okay? So I typed in this prompt. It's currently 23:03 on Christmas Day, and I've been working on my YouTube video about an AI life coach process that I believe will help a lot of people tremendously. I really, really want to finish it before 12 a.m. so that I can post it as a Christmas gift for everyone. I'm really exhausted right now. I have finished about 90% of the script, but I haven't yet recorded the video, haven't done the title or the thumbnail. On top of that, I still need to edit it. So this ChatGPT Pro, which is the top of the line model, like with this kind of pricing, like this, it is 10 times more expensive than any other LLM on the face of the earth as of the time of this video. So it's supposed to be very good at reasoning. So it thought for 44 seconds and it created this output, this response. I hear you. It sounds like you're so close, but also completely wiped out. Let's see if we can find a game plan that balances your desire to release it tonight with the reality of your energy level and time constraints. You've got about an hour to midnight, so here's a step-by-step approach that might help. It is supposed to be very smart, but the nature of it is that I am conflicted, but now it's giving me a solid action step to finish it. So let's take a look at the transcript over here. You got about an hour to midnight, so here's a step-by-step approach that might help. Decide on your scope, be realistic, set your non-negotiables, tackle the essentials, blah, 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 all of this stuff. All of it, good, solid instruction. But does it solve my internal conflict? No. Great reasoning, but it doesn't solve my needs. So let's take a look at some other model. Gemini 1206 via aistudio.com, 1206 model. Same prompt. And it says, okay, let's break this down and see what we can do. You're in a tight spot, but it's admirable that you want to get this done as a Christmas gift. Here's a realistic assessment and some suggestion. Give me a reality check, give me example and possible strategies, all this stuff. Cool. Here's the full transcript. Okay, more advice. Option one, and instead of just advice, it is also giving me options. So options, preview, gift, and promise. Action, do a script snippet. Choose the most impactful 1 to 2 minute section of your script. Quick recording, simple post. And then after that, do option 2. So now it's allowing me to choose, which I would say kind of better. I can think for myself and see which part of this would have been most useful for me, all right? So that's the transcript. That's Gemini 1206. Now, I use Claude. Among these three right here, Claude is actually the most useful because if I look at this one, great reasoning, but I'm already exhausted. I told the AI that I'm exhausted. ChatGPT Pro pushed me, in spite of me being exhausted, and create this massive output for me, this essay for me to read. And same goes with Gemini, right? They both, Gemini gave me a big output, but it also gave me some options to consider. Whereas for Claude, it is the most empathetic one so far. I understand your heartfelt desire to share this potentially impactful AI life coach video as a Christmas gift. However, I'm concerned about your well-being given how exhausted you are. It caught what I have said, and the significant amount of work still needed to create a quality video. While your intention to help others is admirable, rushing through the remaining 90% while exhausted could compromise the quality, result in mistakes, further strain your physical and mental well-being. And it gave me a perspective. So instead of suggesting solutions, or instead of pushing me, it is actually giving me a different perspective. Write a thoughtful post announcing that you're putting the finishing touches on a special video that will be released tomorrow or in the next few days. This way you can get proper rest, maintain the quality of the content. And then it actually asked me a question instead of just giving me the instructions like over here. Whereas for Claude, it gave me the suggestion, but then it asked a question. What do you think about this approach? Your viewers would likely prefer a well-crafted video from a rested, focused you rather than rushed version. It is most useful so far because, number one, it is short. It is concise. It caught on the idea that I am exhausted. It is giving me a snippet size that I could actually use. Number two, it is giving me an option. It is giving me permission to rest and not push me so hard. Number three, it actually asks a question to me. Now, this is Claude Pro, okay? Most useful one so far among the three of them, Claude Pro. But it still doesn't really solve my problem because I am still feeling conflicted. The kind of conversations that we need to have, the kind of person that we need to have a conversation with are coaches, therapists, and so on. So we actually created a identity for Claude Pro as well. So I actually created this prompt, and this is following the basic rules and guidelines of prompt engineering, right? So they say that you must make sure you assign it a character, an identity, a persona. So over here I wrote, you are an experienced and compassionate life coach with extensive knowledge in personal development, goal setting, habit formation, emotional intelligence, behavioral psychology. So everything sounds right. You combine the warmth of a supportive mentor with the structured approach of a professional coach. So the purpose, you can pause the video to have a read at all of this. Most people would just say, okay, that sounds like a good, clear, solid prompt. And let's take a look at the kind of response that it gave me. It says, I understand that I'll be serving as a professional life coach, combining empathetic support with evidence-based coaching techniques to help users achieve their personal and professional goals. I'll focus on empowering individuals through thoughtful questioning and structured guidance while maintaining appropriate boundaries. How can I help you on your personal development journey today? So you see, everything sounds good so far, which is the case with most of the prompts that you guys are seeing out there. Most of the times when you guys are hearing somebody giving away prompts for free, you guys get very excited, and because the prompts sound legit, you are like, okay, that works. You know, you are very thankful for the guy, but not all is as it appears. So check out what kind of response that it gave me. So I put the same prompt that I've been giving to the other LLMs just now, to ChatGPT Pro, to Gemini. It's currently 23:03 on Christmas Day, and I've been working on my YouTube video about an AI life coach process that I believe will help a lot of people, and so on and so forth. And check it out. Again, the same thing. I hear both your dedication to helping others and your exhaustion. Let's take a moment to examine this situation thoughtfully. First, I want to acknowledge your generous intention, very empathetic, and then the coach is, quote unquote, coach is now laying down the facts, right? Right now you're at 90% script completion. You still have significant work ahead. It's already like 1 hour to 12 to midnight. You're already exhausted, which could affect both the quality of your work and your health. So now it's asking for permission to coach. May I offer a perspective? While the Christmas day timing feels meaningful, your viewers would likely prefer a well-crafted, energetically delivered video that truly represents your best work rather than rush version. So, but here's the thing. As you can see, it is now giving me an advice. A coach never gives an advice. Or rather, most of the time they won't give an advice, because whenever a problem is got to do with internal conflict, the answer doesn't exist outside of us. And whenever we are hearing an advice, especially when if you're feeling some sort of internal conflict, the likelihood of us being defensive and defend our position would become even higher. So a coach would actually not do this, even though his entire text is structured very well, very empathetic, sounds like a friend. This is not what a coach would do, even though I specifically gave it a prompt and gave it a role of being a compassionate and experienced life coach, right? So this proves that assigning identity is not the most important thing when it comes to prompt engineering. I'm going to show you what my AI life coach does. So far, 1, 2, 3, 4 is not AI life coach. This is basically what I have shown you guys. If you are using just a normal LLM. Now for my AI life coach is based on Claude, and check out this kind of response. It's currently 23:03 on Christmas Day, and I've been working on my YouTube video about an AI life coach that I believe will help a lot of people tremendously. So the same prompt, but check out the kind of response that it gives. I notice a potential tension between your admirable desire to help others with this meaningful project and some concerning factors. You're exhausted at 23:03 with several hours of work ahead to meet a self-imposed midnight deadline. This situation raises an important question. What makes you feel it must be posted specifically before midnight on Christmas, despite your exhaustion? I ask this because while the intention to give this as a Christmas gift is beautiful, there might be a risk of compromising the quality of this important content, born from fatigue and time pressure, just to meet an arbitrary deadline. Your message about helping people tremendously suggests this content deserves your best energy and focus. Now, here's the thing. It is giving what it perceives. Like, it's giving an opinion, but it is not an advice. But it asks a question for me to reflect. What makes you feel it must be posted specifically before midnight on Christmas, despite your exhaustion? And if you've ever had any form of training on coaching, you know that this is actually a damn good question, okay? And here's the thing. The prompt that makes this happen, it wasn't a mega prompt. It wasn't a 45,000 character prompt, which I used to do before. It is a very simple 195 character prompt that does not contain any sort of identity, purpose, or expected output or rules. It doesn't contain any of that, all right? Now, this is the standard, what I would call a level 1 AI life coach process that I created. What I'm going to show you over here is what I call a level 2 AI life coach, which is a AI life coach that is trained on my data. So it is currently 23:03, blah, blah, blah. I've been working on my YouTube video, same prompt. Now, check this out. I notice you're putting significant pressure on yourself to deliver this gift by an arbitrary midnight deadline, despite being exhausted. Based on your own resources, worldview documentation, you recognize that emotional energy and mental bandwidth are your most precious resource, even more valuable than time. Now, check this out. This line right here about my own resource worldview is a result of a past conversation that I had with the AI. And now it remembers it and reminding me what I told it back then. So now it is asking me this question. Given this, let me ask, what's the real cost of pushing through exhaustion to meet a self-imposed deadline versus delivering this valuable content when you're fresh and can ensure its highest quality? So this is not its own agenda because I set my own values. I have informed it about my own values through our past conversation, and it is reminding me, hey, this is what you said. And it is using my own value of asking this particular question, which makes this question a lot more powerful than the question from before, which is AI Life Coach Level 1. And notice the length. This one right here has 3 paragraphs. This one right here has 2 paragraphs. So in the sense of an interaction experience, right, an interactive experience, this experience is a lot more smoother and a lot more powerful because it doesn't take a lot of bandwidth for me to, number 1, consume. Number 2, it doesn't take a lot of bandwidth for me to think through how to respond. Number 3, I don't have to try and understand like what is going on over here. Unlike the first one, which is all of this, right? All of this, I have to go and understand what it's trying to say. And number 4, I don't have to decide. I don't have to decide on so many things. When you as a user, you are looking at all of these things, right? You have to read through, and you need to understand how much bandwidth it is consuming you to just understand this whole thing and slowly decide. Decision exhaustion is a very real thing. But when I look at something like this, when you look at something as short as this, it is a lot more easier for you to respond because it's short. It doesn't take a lot of bandwidth. So this is a level 2 AI life coach. Now, the reason why you can't get this kind of response, right, from a normal interaction with the LLM is because all LLMs are optimized for responses. The people behind the LLMs, they are not experts at coaching. They are not coaching experts. They are not human transformation experts. They are AI people, right? So everything, including if you look at all the interviews about O1 and so on and so forth, they're talking about how like O1 ChatGPT Pro is optimized to create a highly accurate responses. But the problem is that it is not answers that we need. The human problem is not answers. We are not in any lack of answers. In fact, most of the time, we have too many answers inside of us. The problem with us humans is that we are subjected to many of our internal conflicts, all right, our inner conflicts, our idiosyncrasies, and our contradictions. We say one thing, we do another thing. That's just a fact of life. So what needs to happen in most of our lives is that we need to have better questions. Whether you want to do business, whether you want to make a better decision, whether about your certain relationship, about your business, about your life, whatever it is that you're trying to do, right? The solution comes from the questions rather than hearing more answers. And in order for that to happen, it is not about the AI skills anymore, but it is about human psychology. And that is the only reason why, because I have a certain unique journey that puts me on a cross intersection between personal development and AI and business. And that's the only reason why I managed to stumble onto this particular AI process.
Like you, I want to make a YouTube video and reels, but I just never get done. I overthink it and always stop. Like I don't do it anymore.
What is the main reason you stopped yourself?
What is the reason you stop yourself? Because I think the first one could be the fear of criticism, even though I've actually done it before. And the process of editing is overwhelming for me. It's troublesome.
You mentioned you've done it before, which means you've already overcome this fear of criticism in the past. What was different about those times when you did follow through and create videos? What enabled you to push past the fear?
In the past, because it was a live interview with some people, and I just upload the whole thing. During the lockdown.
So it wasn't the creation or sharing that was a barrier. It was specifically the editing process. But I noticed you compared these quite different types of content, live interviews versus edited content, and concluded that since one type requires more editing, it's troublesome. Could you explain why you feel you need heavily edited content now rather than creating simpler, more straightforward videos like you did before?
I think because there is an expectation to have a polished video. Hey, this is not bad. It's quite good.
Oh, we haven't touched the surface yet. Whose expectation is this exactly? Could you point to where this expectation come from?
Whose expectation is this exactly? My perceived expectations of others on me.
It's your perception, not necessarily reality. Let me ask you something specific. Can you think of a YouTuber or content creator you enjoy watching who doesn't have perfectly polished videos?
I have. Yeah.
Okay, who?
There's this guy, I don't remember his name, but he talks about law of attraction. So he just sits on his bed and talk about it.
That's a perfect example. So here's a creator you personally watch and value who doesn't meet the polished video standard you're holding yourself to. What makes you think your viewers would judge you by a different standard that you judge him?
That's true.
That realization you just had is powerful. You've discovered that you're holding yourself to a standard that you don't even use when choosing content to watch yourself. Would you be willing to try an experiment? What if you made one simple video, similar to the law of attraction creator, just you talking about something you're knowledgeable about with minimal editing, not as your forever format, but as a way to break through this paralysis of perfectionism?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay.
Where is this again? Where is it on the client portal?
Hold on. Now you see it starts to come planning with you already. Like it goes into the action step. What topic would you feel most comfortable talking about for this first simple video? Choose something you know well enough that you could talk about it naturally without a script.
I will talk about this is the other project I'm doing. Charisma for introverts.
Charisma for introverts? That's an excellent topic, especially since you speak from personal experience. Before we plan the actual content, I noticed you chose a topic that would help other introverts with charisma. Yet earlier, you were concerned about judgment from others about your video style. Can you see the irony? You
Whoa, shit.
Wow. Brutal. Is this one special prompt do you use, or is it the Claude's own personality?
It's a special prompt. The moment I discovered this, the marketer in me was already figuring out ways on how to monetize this. But something in me felt quite conflicted. And I had a different conversation with this exact AI coach that I'm sharing with you today. And it had helped me to realize a few things about me, about myself, realize a few limiting beliefs, and it has helped me make a necessary decision to actually give this away freely. There is something bigger that is happening here. If I were to really look at it from my higher self, right, we are currently at the beginning of a fundamental shift in how humans and AI can grow and develop together. And by limiting the release of this, I'm actually not doing anyone any service. I'm actually not doing myself any service. So by having a conversation with this particular AI coach, it helped me to see that actually it benefits me more if I were to just release it for free without putting it behind any form of paywall or email subscription. I want to see how this spreads. I want to see how this evolves and what it does for different people in different contexts. So I'm sharing this with you as a result of my own breakthrough with the AI coach. I am pretty sure that people are going to copy this process. That's just how internet works. But if you do find this to be valuable, if it helps you to achieve real breakthroughs, I'd really appreciate if you credit me as the creator when you share it. I want to trace this journey. I want to see how it transforms other people's lives, just like how it transformed mine. And it is still ongoing right now. All I want in return is just to be a part of the story of how this grows. You need to use Claude for best results. So below in this table here, I've created an LLM tier list for you to see with the remarks of my experience using them. Now, when I put this tier list, I am not saying that Claude is actually the best LLM ever. No, that's not what I mean at all. What I mean is that it is for this specific context and this particular use case, this is actually the best. So the problem with Claude is that it always hits the usage limit fairly quickly because when I'm having conversations with the AI, I find that all year long, I never hit any form of usage limit until I created this AI process. When I run it, because of all the back and forth conversations, we end up like hitting the usage limit very quickly. So because of that, I try to experiment with other LLMs like ChatGPT o1 Pro. The problem that I run into that is that it takes too long to think. And when it takes so long to think, right, like I can actually use this with o1 Pro, but every time I hit enter, I have to wait like 45 seconds to a minute to get a response, to get a question back. Whereas when it comes to Claude, I can hit enter and I can get a question immediately. And that really helped me. Today alone, I've already had 3 powerful conversations with Claude on specific areas of my life that is fairly private, I won't share. But it is already delivering me breakthroughs on like 3 just today. Already 3, right? But when it comes to o1 Pro, I find that because it disrupts the flow, I wasn't able to get the same kind of experience and the same kind of breakthrough that I do with Claude. And so like a friend of mine, he said, why don't you just try with Gemini 1206? And so I tried with Gemini 1206, and because it's free and it has unlimited usage, also it has like 2 million tokens context window. It is absolutely amazing. But I find that it takes around 3 times longer to actually ask the right questions, the hard questions. In the examples that I showed you, in the first 1 or 2 question, I feel like if you try this, you're gonna feel that Claude asks you the powerful questions, the important questions within 1 to 2 questions. Whereas when it comes to Gemini, like it took about 7 to 9 questions before we actually get to the root of it. And then when it comes to ChatGPT 4.0, you can use this as well, but the problem is that it tends to be too people-pleasing. Like it tends to try to please you, so it skirts around the topic a little bit too much. So it doesn't really ask the hard questions that deliver the kind of breakthroughs that you need. So if you really have no choice, like you only have to choose only one of it, or maybe right now you only have this available to you, go ahead, just do whatever that is available to you. But ultimately, based on my experience, if you want the most powerful experience of using the AI Life Coach, use Claude 3.5 Sonnet. My vision for the AI Coach has actually 4 levels. The first level, it doesn't remember any context. And what that means is that every single time you have a conversation with it, you actually have to tell it about yourself. You have to manually feed Claude the specific information that matters to the context of the conversation. But the good side of this is that level 1 is actually very easy to set up. Within 5 minutes, you can like figure it out. Level 2 remembers your core values, it remembers your beliefs, and remembers your goals. And I'm gonna do a demonstration for you later on for this as well. And level 3 is when it's pre-trained on your organizational or your project context. And level 4 is a true self-evolving AI companion with actual context awareness and time awareness. Alright, so this is a level 1. It's a level 1 AI coach, which is already very powerful. So whatever I showed you just now at the start of this video, that's level 1. This is also level 1, except this one, we were having conversation about my body. And it actually helped me to figure out why I've always found it hard to permanently keep a weight off. So right off the bat, you can see it actually asks a very strong question, like, what do you believe is the primary purpose of taking care of your physical body? So I said the physical body is the interface that I have with reality. I am not my body, but it is mine, and I only have one, so I need to take care of it if I want to experience reality. So it's just a casual thing that I think anybody would say a line like that. And a human coach, like, it takes a discerning human coach to capture something that I said that is a little bit off. And this is what Claude said. That's a thoughtful perspective that shows awareness of the body as a tool or vessel. I'm curious about something in how you phrase it. You said, I need to take care of it if I want to experience reality. This suggests caring for your body might feel like an obligation rather than something you inherently want to do. And there you have it. Right off the bat, it is already asking me a powerful question. The next question is, if you didn't need to take care of your body to experience reality, would you still want to do it? And immediately my brain was like, no. So I just put over there. In just 2 questions, it is already revealing a very important aspect about my belief systems about body. I see body care as a necessary obligation rather than something inherently desirable or enjoyable. So this could be a limiting belief because when we do things purely from obligation, we often do the minimum required, feel resistance or resentment, find it harder to maintain consistent habits, and miss opportunities for joy or deeper engagement. So this, as Claude listed all 4 of these out, in my mind, I'm like, yes, 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 that's exactly it. And he asked me this question: what experiences have led you to view body care as something you wouldn't choose to do if it wasn't necessary? Then I said, okay, just feel this way, no experiences have led me to having this view. So it says, okay, that's interesting. And he asked me, it actually used a coaching technique over here. It says, when you think about people who genuinely enjoy taking care of their bodies, working out, eating well, getting proper rest, what do you think is fundamentally different about them compared to you? This question might help us understand if there's an underlying assumption in your worldview about what makes someone inherently interested in body care versus seeing it as just a necessity. And I said, one likes them, another doesn't. And it helped me to and we continue to have conversations like that. And I remember between this particular dialogue and until here, it was actually quite a lot of conversation. The entire conversation took me 5 hours, if I remember it correctly. It was long, and it wouldn't have been something that a human coach would have the patience for. But AI, infinite patience, right? So over here, it got me to realize that there are already some things that I'm doing it right. It actually asked me, you've recognized that your lack of enjoyment is actually limiting you. Let me ask you something specific. When you say you don't enjoy most of the things related to body care, could you tell me one activity related to body care that you do find even slightly enjoyable? And I said, I enjoy strength training, slightly. So I said, yeah, that's valuable. You enjoy strength training, even if slightly. This suggests you're not inherently averse to all forms of body care. So what makes strength training different from other body care activities you don't enjoy? What element of it makes it even slightly appealing to you? So I explained my approach over there, and we continued to have conversation. And the conversation went to nutrition and went to like how I am systemizing my approach when it comes to nutrition so that it's easier and enjoyable for me. And I'm actually able to like screenshot and just send a screenshot of me talking to the butcher, and it actually recognizes it, and it says like this conversation shows you're actively communicating your needs and working on optimizing the process. However, something stands out in your message to the butcher. Every step that I have to do myself demotivates me from cooking. So this brings us to the crucial question about your worldview. Do you believe that any amount of personal effort in food preparation will inherently lead to demotivation, or might this be a learned response that could be shifted? So like we had conversations around this as well, and it did a fantastic job at catching all the small nuances that I had about how I think. And then I was able to actually share my story about like my body before eczema and after eczema. I gained a lot of weight, and it was actually a long Facebook post. If I shared this with a coach, in my experience of hiring so many coaches, most coaches wouldn't even read. But I was able to send all of these things directly to the AI, and because of that, I don't have to repeat myself to the AI. And I can actually say I don't know, and the AI will guide. Like over here, it asked me a question that I do not know how to answer. And it says, that's interesting. Despite your extensive experience in the fitness industry, you didn't encounter or develop strategies for this specific challenge. And then it asked me another question. Given all these insights, what do you believe needs to shift in your worldview to create sustainable change? I am so blank right now, So it continued to guide me way after a human coach would have like completely lost all patience. Like there was a point where I was like, I don't like, you keep on asking me again and again. Like I sense it's a very important question, but I'm coming up blank. And this is particularly powerful because even like if I were to talk to a human coach and one of my coach would actually say like, you don't know. I say, I don't know. And my coach would say, if you do know, what would you say? And that would drive me nuts. But the AI have infinite patience. The AI patiently guided me. We came to this point where I said, as I'm facing these questions, I feel the pain of sitting with this. And I'm feeling the urge to eat something right now. And immediately the AI caught that. And it said, this is an incredibly insightful observation about what's happening in real time. The discomfort of examining these deep questions about your relationship with food and body care is triggering an urge to eat. This reveals something crucial about your worldview that we haven't yet discussed. Food might be serving as a way to escape from difficult emotional or mental experiences. And the moment Claude said that, I'm like, yeah. The fact that you're noticing this pattern in the moment is actually quite significant. Given that you're experiencing this urge right now, would you be willing to stay with this discomfort for a moment and explore what exactly about these questions and this self-examination feels painful enough to trigger the desire to eat? And I was like already losing patience for myself. Like talking with a coach is always a roller coaster. Like, well, not always. Like a lot of times it's a roller coaster, right, emotionally. And this was exactly what I'm feeling right now. And I told Claude, how long do I need to stay in this discomfort? And instead of answering my question, it tells me, it reflected me something. It says, your question, how long do I need to stay in this discomfort, reveals something powerful. You're viewing this emotional discomfort like you view diet adherence, as something to endure for a set period until it's done. So let me ask you this. When you feel the urge to eat in response to discomfort, is it because you believe the discomfort should end, or because you've learned that eating provides temporary relief from having to face these difficult feelings and questions? And it was at this point I experienced a huge breakthrough. I realized that all along I eat so that I can go through the process. Whenever times are tough, I don't eat to escape from the discomfort. I eat because I want to go through the discomfort. So that was a very interesting thing. And that's a fascinating insight. You view eating as a tool to enable you to continue the process rather than a pure escape. You're essentially saying, I need this relief in order to keep going. So this reveals something crucial about your worldview. You might believe that continuous discomfort is unsustainable and that you need periods of relief to make progress. It's similar to how you view perfect conditions as necessary respites that enable you to continue. Here's a key question. Do you believe that meaningful change can only happen through cycles of endurance and relief? Or might this belief itself be limiting your ability to find a sustainable middle ground? And you see, at this point, I realized that internally, even though intellectually I understand that there are better ways, but internally I was still holding on to the belief that meaningful change can only happen through cycles of endurance and relief, like pain, no gain type of mentality. So I realized it. And as I'm continuing that, it's like I couldn't handle it anymore. The emotional pain was too much. I actually gone and went and did it. I go and bought McDonald's, and I actually screenshot this thing, take a photo of it, and I showed the AI coach, and it says this image shows that you've acted on a urge that we just discussing. Now, I want you to understand, I had human coaches many times. I've had human nutrition coaches, and 9 times out of 10, well, not 10 times, I had like, what, 4 nutrition coaches? Most of the time, a human coach would judge. A human coach would, like, when you do the whole human thing, it's like, only a very, very good coach would say the line that this AI coach is saying right now, which is, rather than judge this choice, let's use it as a real-time learning opportunity. Given our previous discussion about worldviews, particularly the one we just uncovered, about believing you need relief to continue the process, what was going through your mind in the moment you decided to get this meal? Was it that familiar thought of, I need to keep this relief to keep going? So, and then I said, okay, after the thought, I didn't have any more thoughts. It just feel like compulsion, I have to obey. And we just keep going on and on. This was breakfast, right? This was breakfast. I was already, at this point, I was having conversation with it for like 2 hours already. And over here was lunch. And you know what was magical? By the time I reached lunch, my urge and my impulses, like even though it was still quite uncontrollable, I can feel, right? I can feel my urge becoming less and less. And then we continue to have conversations to the point where, okay, we've already uncovered all the belief systems and so on. And I'm feeling a sense of relief, a lot of pain, but also a lot of relief. And that was the point where we actually move on to actually talk about my goals for 2025. And a real coach, right? A human coach would be stuck in a particular hat. They can't switch their mentality. Like, if you're talking to an ICF coach, like, I'm a coach. I have an identity of a coach. I can't shift. Very few coaches can shift their hats immediately. Now, not the same with this one. So over here, can you suggest a goal for me? All the thinking we've done in this short time has been really stressful. I went and done it again. So, and then this was the 3rd time in the same conversation. I actually emotionally ate. And this moment showing me another non-carnivore meal and expressing that all our deep thinking has been stressful is actually quite revealing about something we need to address in your worldview. You seem to be falling into a pattern where deep thinking about change creates stress. Stress triggers the desire for relaxation, euphoria we'll discuss. This leads to non-carnivore choices, which might then create more stress about not sticking to your goals, creating a cycle. Instead of suggesting a goal right now when you're in this stress state, let me ask you what if your first goal wasn't about a perfect carnivore adherence, but about understanding and optimizing your stress food response pattern? Wow! Right? So then after this was done, like it was balancing the hat of between a coach and a consultant and a mentor and a trainer all together. It becomes whoever that you need it to be. It is not locked into any one particular role. Brainstorm partner. Once we have set down the goal, we actually did a brainstorm session where we actually created a Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 cycle, like a coaching, not a coaching, but like a goal setting system to know exactly what needs to happen on a day-to-day basis. And guess what? Ever since this conversation, I have been very consistent with my carnivore. Right, and the amount of desire that I have was significantly less. And whenever I had urges, which I do, I would just pull out this AI coach from my phone, go into Anthropic Cloud and actually have conversation with it, and my urges can disappear just like that. Right. So this is something powerful. Now all of this, right? Get this, it's just level 1 coach. Level 1 coach right here. Level 2 coach was even faster. Notice how this one is a long conversation. It's a very long conversation. It was a 5-hour conversation. But over here, okay, I was having a dilemma. At home, I have a lot of instant ramen in my cupboard. And I actually asked like the AI about it. Okay, so like I actually have a lot of these stuff over here. I'm not sure what do I do with it. So intellectually, I want to solve a problem, but emotionally, I was actually looking for permission to finish it. Does that make sense? Like, if you are a foodie, I think you understand what I'm trying to say. So this is when it understands my context, because level 2 remembers your core values, it remembers your beliefs, it remembers your goals, and I've already set this up. So it says, you mentioned having non-carnivore items at home while committing to a 365-day carnivore diet for 2025. Your document show that you believe your lazy genius efficiency-seeking nature is a superpower for optimization. So my question is, how does keeping non-carnivore foods at home align with making the carnivore diet the path of least resistance? It is using a lot of the things, a lot of the words that I told it in the past back at me. And I said, it doesn't. And it says, I noticed that was quick acknowledgement. Let me dig deeper. What do you believe is stopping you from removing these items from your home right now? Then I said, it's a waste, right? Because some of these instant ramen are expensive. That's a limiting belief you should explore. Looking at your documented worldview, you stated, my time and mental energy are more valuable than any item's monetary value. So let me ask you, if you compare the monetary value of the instant ramen to the mental energy cost of, number 1, seeing it every time you open the cupboard, number 2, having to resist it when you're stressed or tired, number 3, the mental bandwidth used thinking about wasting it, is keeping it actually saving you anything? That was a powerful question, and I was like, no. This was the perfect question for me. And then it pressed even further, and it says, let's press a bit further on this realization. In your things area transformation document, you've had this breakthrough insight. The true cost of keeping things isn't in their monetary value, but in mental energy. Given that you're planning to commit to carnivore for all 365 days of 2025, what do you think is a real waste here? Throwing away some instant ramen, or keeping something that actively works against your most important goal for 2025? And that was there my excuses start to come up. Like, we have 9 days to 2025. I am tempted to say that I can finish it before then. And they say, yeah, that's another belief to examine. Let's look at what you wrote in your mind worldview. Every time I chose long-term benefit over temporary gratification, I strengthened my self-mastery muscle. So let me ask you this. By choosing to eat the ramen in these 9 days because it's there, what muscles are you actually strengthening? Your self-mastery muscle or your rationalization muscle? I said the latter. Powerful. It says, now let's look at the documented purpose for the carnivore diet. You wrote, every time I eat carbs, it makes it easier to eat even more carbs. So given this awareness, how would eating ramen for the next 9 days likely affect your ability to start strong on January 1st? And I said, negatively. And I said, you've documented, Claude says, you've documented a powerful vision 2025 that uses carnivore diet not just for physical health, but as your primary training mechanism for developing consistency and self-mastery. Looking at this ramen situation, would keeping and eating non-carnivore foods for these 9 days be an act of protecting a few dollars, or would it be an act of self-sabotage against your broader transformation goals? And I said, the latter, of course. And it finally says, like, given all your realizations, what action would be best aligned with your stated worldview? My efficiency-seeking nature is a superpower that I can apply to optimize my health journey. Let's make this specific and actionable. And there we have it. Inner conflict solved. I said I can give it all to my cleaner. That's an excellent solution. It resolves the waste issue, it creates immediate path release resistance, blah, blah, blah. This entire exchange was like less than 5 minutes. This entire exchange, even though I read it out, it take a while longer for me to read it out. But because we are going back and forth just typing, I didn't have to type a lot. Notice that? I didn't have to type a lot. It was just like texting a friend. Because it knows my context, the kind of question that it asked me is even a lot more powerful. That is level 2. For level 1, all of this is just one prompt. Help me with that. Ask me one clarifying question at a time. Make it the most important one. And if I say something that may show as limiting belief, question me until I realize it. It's as simple as that. Nothing complicated, no complex prompt engineering. Just copy, paste, and you're ready to go. So all you got to do, right? All you got to do is just copy this thing here, and you replace this thing with whatever your objective is, whatever your problem is, or whatever your context is. Just like this. So you just replace this line with whatever the objective, the problem, or the context. So maybe I might say, I don't know why, but every time I am about to shoot a video for my YouTube, I get really anxious and I procrastinate for a long time before I start shooting, even though I already have everything. So this is the part where you put in the context or the problem or the objective. And this is the literal 195 character prompt. Help me with that. Ask me one clarifying question at a time and make it the most important one. And if I say something that may show as limiting belief, question me until I realize it. And there you go. You have all of this. This is the start of the conversation, and all you got to do is just type in the response to that, hit enter, and just keep answering the question as and when the AI showed it to you. Setting up a AI coach level 2 is a fairly simple thing. As you can see over here, all you got to do is just start a project. So I started a project in Claude, and under the project system prompt, the project instructions, I literally just copied the 195 character prompt directly here, and I added this one line. Always review the project knowledge base for existing answers before asking. That's it. And everything that is relevant to the project, as an example over here, you can see my beliefs about areas of life, my goal consolidation. This is my business, a summary of my business model, AI client factory. This is the methodology that I use to envision my next year. This is my one-word intention. Basically, whatever it is that you need, you just add it into the project knowledge. And from there, you can just ask the question over here. So like this part here, I received a DM from somebody who actually wanted feedback. And then I just screenshot and send it to the AI. The AI asked me one question at a time. All right. And we got the solution fairly fast. Now, this part here is a conversation with my client, and I was helping her craft an offer. So you might be wondering, is the AI coach only applicable for life coaching? The answer is no, it is very much applicable for business coaching. And in the next demonstration, I'm going to show you how the AI coach actually coached my own client to create her own compelling offer.
I don't know, actually. I'm trying to decide. But I like the systems focus. Like, that's really important.
Let me show you something real cool. Remember I told you about the AI coach thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna demonstrate it to you right now.
Okay.
So you tell the AI your objective, problem, or context. So which I just did. I like your top 3 recommendations, but I'm not 100% on board. Ask me one clarifying question at a time and make it the most important one. And if I say something that may show as a limiting belief, question me until I realize it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
All right. So now you can interact.
Yeah, I do believe that, because I think that that's what they're going to respond to. Because the larger impact is vague.
Mm-hmm.
They want the revenue increase. Marketing.
It's a nice experience doing this, isn't it?
Yeah, I really enjoy it, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's helping me like
Yeah.
clarify very very calmly, very nicely.
Yeah. It is better than me.
I wasn't gonna say it, Felix, but no.
I can come up with like processes like this. I'm proud of myself. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I don't know, but I think they're gonna respond better to marketing systems. Because automated marketing, like I think what we've known so far is automated marketing is a bit lackluster. And I think what we take it to another level. I don't know the metrics, but it's comprehensive. And that's the key that separates our marketing systems from marketing systems that have come before.
Let me challenge your thinking here for a moment.
Bring it on. No, I was kidding. Fair enough. Comprehensive doesn't, yes.
It's reflective.
It did. I'm like, grr, you're right. To turn that with more systems than another. Oh, that's a good point. I don't know that we have more systems, but we cover areas that others miss, and our systems integrate in ways that others don't. So both the other two, the last two, yes.
Ask for referrals, give positive reviews, and stay in touch.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Conquer the best. Let me understand what I believe. Would it be accurate to say your key differentiator is that you're the only system that handles the complete client journey from first touch to repeat business with everything automated except the service delivery. Felix, I love your like response.
This mad. Oh,
It is amazing. Everything's automated except for the conversion. So the sales conversion, because that's still something that the client is going to do, and the actual service delivery.
delivery.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. I don't think anybody in the world has this yet. I don't think so. I
I have
haven't
not seen anything like this.
like this is gonna change.
It's
I don't know.
amazing. I'm so excited for you. And I'm excited for me because this is amazing to use.
Yeah.
Oh, the sophistication. They have
Mhm.
something that conveys that's not just hard to take care of, but actually intelligent. Oh, can it suggest a verb? Because I think that's the nail on the head.
Mhm.
Manages, orchestrates, powers, drives, operates, controls, runs, delivers. Deliver that man.
Mhm. Mhm.
You're like a kid in the candy store.
It's asking questions that me at my best would ask.
Yeah. And I love that it's also give us the reason, like so that I can be like, oh, so this is the angle that you're asking. Um,
Yeah.
well, we don't have any clients that yet. So like I kind of like powers, but I don't want to say powers after saying AI powered marketing system.
Oh, so all you gotta do is just tell the problem.
Oh, yeah.
Which of these two approaches would be more credible in the new offer? Making the claim of being the only system, which might raise skepticism, leading with the specific proven capabilities of your system.
That verb. I really like the only intent. Yeah.
It's I didn't want to say it, but I want to see if the AI would say it. The AI did say it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, how do I know that I'm the only? Yeah. I don't know that I'm the only.
It said, "Oh,
Oh,
mm,
that's really cool. That's really, really cool. Drives is the best one. Yeah. Let's go with drives for now. Would you like me to ask one more question about it? It wants to ask, well, I wonder how to respond with, what do you want to do?
let's try that."
I figured, yeah. See, I noticed that while we practice this position, there might be an opportunity to make it more concise without. I like that. So here's what we make the name word complete, and that is AI powered and the comprehensive scope already. So the AI powered marketing system driving from lead to read. Yeah,
Please
I'm
accept.
taking notes and it's like I'm gonna have this. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like the polish. So accept sales to yeah, it's technically it should be flipped the structure AI powered markets are driving lead generation follow-up. So I like this one the most. I wonder, do we need the you just handle sales and service? Could we just drop that even? Yeah, that makes sense. The AI powered markets driving lead generation, follow-up, and repeat business to generate, and then the offer deals will clarify the divisions. Perfect. I like that. That's
I don't.
really cool, Felix.
And
Cool.
now in the project, we're gonna change the core offer, add content, add text content, core offer.
Ah, yep.
Ah, cool. All right. So now we're gonna start crafting the offer doc.
Yeah, I think I'm just so stuck in my own head wanting to get it perfect.
So this is the situation. So let's take a look at spot here. You mentioned you didn't get any buyers. Could you share what specific response or feedback, if any?
I'm not interested in this, and it's not the right time, which is the same thing.
Okay. I'm not interested in it, and it's not the right time. Can you share what your offer is and how you determine it would solve a specific urgent problem for your past prospects? You're gonna copy and paste your entire offer to actually, you know what? We can do that because it's pretty fast. And just copy the whole thing. Paste. Here's my offer. Let me ask you this. When you spoke with the past prospects before creating this offer, what specific challenges or pain points did they mention about getting published or building authority?
They mentioned that they just weren't sure how to do it, and that they were confused and they didn't have enough confidence that anything would work. They're just kind of feeling battered.
feel kind of battered.
Battered by the economy, I guess.
I-
The economy and politics and everything. The
Politics.
world.
Did you notice that their core concern seems to be more fundamental? They're feeling overwhelmed and uncertain about their businesses in general.
Yes and no. These are established businesses who are finding that everything that they've been doing so far is no longer working.
It's no longer working. When they mention nothing is working anymore, what specific business metrics or outcomes were they seeing decline?
Sales and leads.
Sales and leads. Should I keep trying to serve my existing lists by adapting my offer to them, or should I just start a new list? Because that's the decision that you currently have.
Mm-hmm.
You seem to be thinking in binary terms. Either adapt to this list or abandon them completely for a new one. What makes you think these are the only two options? And more importantly, what evidence do you have that your current list, who already know and have interacted with you, would be less valuable than starting from scratch with complete strangers?
Well, it has a point, except that the content of my existing list is clients who have done like very high-end books with me, and clients who didn't have the resources back then to do it but kind of wanted the authority.
And the other half wanted but couldn't afford it. And how this makes it a great offer. I hear a very important distinction there that we should unpack. You actually have two very different segments in your list. Here's the key question. When these budget-conscious prospects say they can't afford it, have you directly explored with them what specific ROI they would need to see to justify the $2,000 investment?
Yes.
What's the ROI they're looking for?
So they have said that they would need to generate 3 new clients within 30 days.
Given that these prospects need fast client acquisition, what's your perspective on the disconnect between your 30-day revenue need and your 90-day publication timeline?
They're sitting there saying traffic to website is what I need, whereas I am saying that if you talk to somebody and they go look you up on Google, and they find not just Google reviews, but Business Insider has talked about you, they sit there and say, oh, this is a no-brainer.
Okay, being showcased by those media and would feel easier for prospects to buy.
Yeah.
Given that you understand your momentum model is misaligned, why do you think starting with get published in 90 days would resonate with someone who believes they need website traffic clients?
Because it's a question of credibility. It's not a question of how many people come and visit. It's a question of when people visit, do they see what they need to see? So I'm shifting my business from the high intensity ghostwriting to a build credibility and authority in more affordable and faster ways.
I want to shift from a business model from high intensity. I think it's a question of credibility, not how many number of visitors. Okay. If you know your prospects are urgently seeking more clients and still believe in the traffic clients model, why do you think they would make the leap to trust that a 90-day media publication process is the answer?
Yeah, my conclusion is I don't necessarily think they do, which is why I think I need to build a different list.
To build. It's challenging. Yeah, you say you need to build a different list because your current prospect don't understand the value. But isn't this actually showing you exactly what messaging and education your ideal prospect needs? Think about it. Finding a completely new prospects who already understand the value of authority building through media publication would be harder than helping your current prospects who already know and trust you, are actively experiencing the pain of declining results. You just need to understand the connection between authority and easier client acquisition. What makes you believe finding and educating new cold lists will be easier than bridging this understanding gap with warm prospects who already know you?
That's a really, really, really good question.
Yeah.
I guess the at the core of that is I need more prospects anyway. But I think that what the AI has said is actually really valid, because what it's uncovered for me is that, okay, other new prospects are also going to have to make that transition. You know, there's new prospects who potentially don't know me, who are still thinking in terms of traffic.
Yeah.
And so I need to address that whichever way I go.
This powerful realization. You've identified that this mindset shift challenge isn't unique to your current list. It's actually inherent to the offer itself. Any prospect, new or existing, will need to make this mental leap from traffic equals clients to understanding how authority transforms their entire client acquisition process. So let me ask you this. Since you need to guide this mindset transformation regardless of who you're talking to, would it make more sense to first develop and test your educational messaging with your existing warm list before investing resources into attracting cold traffic?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, cool. Now you bring it back full circle. Now that you've recognized this, let's look at the content part in step 3. I noticed it mentions creating authority content that gets emailed to your list, which you can then repurpose for social media. Given that we've discovered about the mindset shift needed, what specific aspect of the traffic versus authority paradigm would you want to address first in your content?
I would probably look at the shift in Google results. I have to say, this is an awesome AI.
It's an awesome AI. It is not necessarily smarter than other AIs, but the reason why it works so well is because I instructed on how it should interact with us as opposed to instructed on how it should give responses. So most of the AI processors out there, everyone in the world is fixated on how the AI should respond and how the AI should give answers. But when the answers isn't exactly out there, the answer is, the problem is us, we the human, that is the problem. So having this constant questioning, it acts as a second brain for us to identify what actually needs to change. That's why I'm so excited about this.
Yeah.
And for a level 3 AI coach, I envision it as something which is pre-trained on organizational and project context. The way to set this up is it's exactly the same like level 2, but you got to run it on an enterprise plan. As an example over here, this is a Claude project that has been trained on all of my data, and it contains all the knowledge base about me, and only I can access this. But for a level 3 coach, perhaps it is not just one individual data. It contains data about the entire organization. The project is going to be shared by individual members of the team. Once that happens, we're going to load that project up with all the vision and mission, the organization structure, timeline, milestones, brand guidelines, SOPs, everything that is relevant to the project or relevant to the organization. And in this way, every member of the team will get access to high quality coaching that is contextually relevant to the company vision, to the company goals, organizational objectives, and so on. And we run it on the enterprise plan with 500K context window so that it is able to guide the users across a very long conversation. Up to level 3, we are still able to use the frontier model as is. But on level 4 is where I envision things are going to be very exciting. We can actually create an app that serves primarily B2C consumer market, and with just a little tweak can be made to fit the B2B corporate market perfectly. So the benefit of creating our own app without relying on frontier models is that, number one, we can actually have better UX. So the prompt that creates the AI coach is already built in, so you don't have to type it out to start each conversation. I can create triggers to have the AI automatically capture information like core values, beliefs, and goals, and we can actually use clever filters to separate what's important and what's not. All the data, all the captured data can automatically be stored inside a project setup that is similar to Claude project, and onboarding becomes a natural part of the conversations. The AI naturally captures information from the conversation and automatically store it inside the knowledge base. We can create time awareness as well, which basically the idea behind that is that every conversation automatically generates an updated document, kind of like a meeting minute, but it comes with a timestamp. And when it comes with timestamp, and when the AI is constantly looking at the knowledge base, it is constantly looking at everything, and it also detects the timestamp, which means that it is not only context aware, it is time aware. It knows that, okay, the last conversation we had is what time, right now is when. We can even create a mechanism within the conversation that automatically informs the AI, right now this is the time, you know? So with the combination of better UX and time awareness, we can actually have a superior memory, basically an improved version of ChatGPT's memory function. The current ChatGPT memory is very flawed. It is constantly remembering unimportant things. It is constantly focusing on preferences and factual data over core beliefs and core values. And as a result, it is creating enablement instead of transformation because it's very people-pleasing. It will encourage you to stay the same as opposed to encourage you to like transform because it doesn't challenge you. And the reason why this happens is because it's built by people who understands AI, but people who don't understand human transformation. It requires a framework of thinking for human transformation to be incorporated. And when we create something like this level 4 AI life coach, we can make it happen. So memory management wise, we can create filters similar to what I mentioned earlier, but whenever the knowledge base is in danger of reaching its limit, I can set a trigger for the AI to assess and summarize only the most important things within the context to keep, leaving out the rest. So by doing this, we have a clean, elegant, and efficient way of managing memory. So this can actually be an AI service that grows with the advancement of AI instead of being made redundant by smarter AI models, which is happening right now. There's a lot of startups that is going redundant because of like smarter models. This is not gonna disappear because of that. The reason why I don't produce as much content around AI as many of the other AI creators is because there is just too much hype happening. Everyone is always constantly talking about theories, future potential. They are constantly discussing what the big companies might or might not do. They are constantly bringing up life-changing tools that doesn't really perform as well as the developers claim they will. And within the larger context, the larger conversation all around the world, only actually a sliver of the population has the means by way of time, resource, or connection or skills to develop the theories into actual practical applications that can be used by regular people like you and me. So what that means is that most of what is being discussed is actually just speculation and entertainment. Many things in discussion right now doesn't really change what you and I have to do to grow our business and improve our lives. They're actually very disconnected from reality. But what I've shown you today, right, is actually usable by anyone with an LLM. It takes no time to set up at all. Like within 5 minutes, you can set this up. It is easy to use and replicate without any form of complicated prompts. It doesn't require any prompt engineering skills. It doesn't require AGI to happen, right? It doesn't require the next level processor. It can actually happen right now with current technologies. It requires zero corrections or thinking by you on how to use the LLM, and the output is consistently high quality. It is infinitely replicable and scalable, and it has actual life-changing impact on anyone that uses it. It's a very simple prompt, 195 character prompt, but it went a lot further than I ever thought was possible. It is some of the most powerful coaching conversations that I've had in my life. And I don't say this lightly. I've already spent more than $100,000 on many coaching programs. But in this conversation with this particular AI, I found myself experiencing emotions that I never thought to be possible with an AI. Surprise, clarity, pain, some deep realizations, a lot of grief, and freedom. The insights and the breakthroughs that I experienced in just these few days were just astonishing. If you have something like this in your life, it can be there for you when you're alone on Christmas wondering why everyone else seems to have life figured out. When you find yourself questioning if you've made the right career choice. There are so many people who are facing difficult challenges like these personal internal conflicts that they never would have thought that AI can help solve, right? Anytime you're sensing any form of issues and your gut feeling is telling you something is wrong, but you can't put a finger to, you can have a conversation with this AI to solve that problem. But beyond all these problems that I've already mentioned, the AI coach can actually help you create the life that you want because it solves the problem of you in life. And what I mean by that is that most people are trapped in an endless cycle of they know exactly what they should do, they understand why they should do it, they have all the information they need, but they still don't do it. And they repeat the same cycle over and over again. And if this is you, the cost is massive. And most people don't realize how massive the cost is. And it compounds over time because you go into repeated cycles of starting and failing and starting again and failing again. And you start to see this widening gap, right, between your potential and your reality. And as a result of constantly seeing how you fail, your self-doubt increases, your self-trust decreases. Over time, even as you gain more knowledge, you take less action. And your life goals, which you were once very excited by, are now becoming a someday dream. But most of all, the worst of all, I've seen people over the years become people who say, I know, but I can't. Traditional solutions don't help either. What most people do when they try to solve this problem is that they try to look for more information. right? More YouTube videos, more self-help books, more advice seeking, like they go and post on Facebook groups and ask the entrepreneurial groups and whatever not. More courses, go and become a seminar junkie. But this creates two other major problems. It creates integration issues. You learn something good, but you couldn't figure out how to apply them to your specific situation because of all the internal conflict. And it creates relevance issues. Like you get advice, you get good advice, but you're not sure if the advice that you're getting even applies to your current context. And what worked for somebody else might be completely wrong for you. Right now, people have to sift through thousands of concepts thrown at them through all the seminars, all the books, all the courses, only to find the two things that actually applies to them. You don't need to do this anymore. We don't need to do this anymore. With this AI coach on our hands, that cycle ends. Not in years, in hours. I am in awe of what this means for personal development. The word disruption felt like too weak of a word. Like, I think this could fundamentally reshape how we approach personal growth and coaching it entirely. And it's so easy to apply. It's stupidly easy to apply, and that's the crazy part about it. I am sharing all this because this discovery was just too powerful to keep to myself. There's no way I can keep it to myself. Even if I try to put it behind a paywall, like, it's gonna get out eventually. So I thought to myself, I might as well just share it. You know, I call it AI coach, but honestly, it can be whatever you need it to be at the exact moment that you need it. You don't have to tell it, you don't have to give it an identity, you don't have to prompt it into shape. It will intelligently adapt to the flow of your conversation. It can be a friend, it can be a priest, it can be a spiritual teacher, a guide, a trusted confidant. You can tell this AI things that you will never tell another soul. It can solve very old problems that you never found a solution to. Be a brainstorm partner to help you understand yourself better. You can actually have a companion that gives you targeted information, like exactly what you need at the exact point you need, instead of barfing a whole bunch of information to you. That's just how a normal AI will interact with you. So no more endless YouTube binges or countless books or constantly asking others for advice just to overcome your internal conflict. Instead, this AI coach helps you process what you already know, help you determine what's actually relevant for your situation and turn it into an actual, real, practical change. Why don't I just talk to a friend, a mentor, a family? Why so set until we have to use an AI? But the real reason why this AI coach is so cool is because it's AI, not in spite of it. It can be with you 24/7, which is unlike a human who you actually need to schedule plans with because they have their own lives and they aren't always going to be available when you need them most. It sees what's happening with you right now with perfect presence, unlike humans who have their own agenda, who have their own problems, who have their own baggage, and who likes to give advice, or maybe who don't like to give advice, and they have their own issues. An AI remembers and it connects all your patterns, both good and bad, which, unlike humans who can forget details or mix up different conversations, this AI will never get emotionally entangled, unlike humans who can't help but bring their own emotional baggage into the mix. Their own judgment, their own feelings. Sometimes you can trigger a coach. It is a very real thing. As you're interacting with this AI, it catches your shit in the moment, unlike a human who might be too polite or too afraid to tell you or call you out when you're making excuses. It can reliably turn every one of your failures, quote unquote failures, into an immediate insight. And I've shown this to you, which, unlike a human who often just try to help you make you feel better, right? It's okay, it's fine, you know, or try to fix you. And this AI can help you bring out and understand all of the inner conflict that you don't even realize you've been carrying. Unlike a human who might rush to just give you advice, because a human has limited patience, has limited time, limited energy, limited bandwidth. To be honest, I am feeling that in many ways, this is actually superior to human coaches. I honestly don't see why anyone, like, if you experience this the way I do, I don't see why you would want to hire a human coach anymore. And I've hired many coaches. The reason is because of what it doesn't have, as much as what it does have. Aside from all of the strengths that I mentioned just now, because it is not human, there is no ego to protect. There is no need to maintain authority. There's no fear. It is not afraid of losing you as a client. So it's not going to say things just to keep you around. It has no emotional baggages. It has no biases from personal experience. It has no need to justify its fees because it's already like so cheap. It has no time constraints, no energy limits, no memory limitations, no fear of being too direct. but it has everything that actually matters, like pure focus on your growth, complete presence, perfect recall, right? A very consistent methodology if you train it in the methodology, and an unwavering attention. So on top of all of that, at only 1/1000th of the cost, right? A real life human being would cost you anywhere between $1,000, $4,000 per month to be your coach. And honestly, the higher level coaches can go up to $10,000 a month. And with Claude's project function, it becomes even more powerful because it can understand your business and your life goals from the very start. And it can maintain the context across all interactions and help you build a deeper understanding based on all of those information that is already available. There's an irony here. By removing the human limitation from the coaching relationship, it actually helps you become more human because it creates a space where you can be completely honest with yourself, completely transparent with yourself. And because you're completely honest and transparent, you can actually look at your own patterns without any sense of judgment. It's a safe space, right? You can face those difficult truths that you've been avoiding. And the AI, as you can see, facilitates that space very, very well. You can change at your own pace. You can access support anytime, even if it is like 5 a.m. in the morning or 3 a.m. in the morning. And perhaps most importantly, it has no agenda except your growth. Every interaction is purely about helping you see yourself more clearly. It is constantly questioning you, and that questioning is actually a good thing. It helps you think better. It is very clearly not replacing you. It is very clearly helping put you on the control seat. And as a result, you become smarter, more analytical, more self-aware. This is not just about getting things done faster anymore. It's about upgrading your own mental processes, right? So if you continue to interact with this AI, constantly sharing, processing your own experiences, it will create opportunities for deeper understanding about yourself and connecting with other people. So this whole AI coaching proves that using AI can actually help us become more humans, not less. And that's why I'm very, very excited about it. So I want you to try this yourself. One of my pet peeves in the AI space is how that there are so many AI creators that constantly talk about certain prompts, how this prompt can double your income, how this prompt can make you X amount of whatever. When it's in fact all just theoretical. It's a pet peeve of mine because every time they drop such a prompt, you will see like hundreds of people commenting underneath, thanking them. Oh, thank you for giving us all of these things. But in almost all my experiences using these prompts, I've come to see clearly that most of these prompts are absolutely garbage, and most people wouldn't realize it because most people aren't action takers. So they'll thank the creator, they'll keep it in their Google Drive, then they'll let it collect digital dust. I don't want this to be you. If you truly think that what I've showed you here today is good, go test it. I don't have any use for fake endorsements. It's so easy to set up. Open Claude, type in the prompt, try interacting with the AI about any area of life that you are facing challenges with. And if you are willing, please share your results or your experience down in the comments below. Or better yet, screenshot your results and write to me at info@felixday.com. Link is in the description. Now let's talk about what it means to the coaching, consulting, and training industry, our space. I've spoken at length about the personal problems that this solves, but there's one area on this AI life coach process that I find absolutely fascinating. It is able to solve the problem of closing the gap between intellectual understanding and actual behavioral change. So think about all the things that I mentioned just now. People already know what they need to do, but they just don't do it. And as a consultant, coach, or mentor or trainer, a huge chunk of your time is spent with clients or participants of a program trying to help them, number one, understand the right action. Number two, take the right action. Number three, do it consistently enough until they see results. If a client has trouble with any of these three factors, implementation will continue to be a problem. So even if a client gives you full control of your business, assuming if they can afford it, without the right mindset, implementation will always be met with resistance with them, their staff, or some parties in their company. And here's the thing, if a client has the right mindset, how likely are they to be in the situation you find them in? They are there because there are certain parts of themselves they are not seeing things very clearly, and it is down to you to help them see things clearly. So a lot of your time is spent with clients, keeping them in the right path. But if each client has an AI coaching them, that completely changes the game. It can help you free up a lot of your time. It prevents clients from making mistakes because it can catch clients in moment of wrong decision. It can show them the mistake that they're about to make. It can reveal to them why they're doing it. It can turn those moments into a learnable moment, into a teachable moment. Number two, it can actually guide clients to the right path because it remembers everything the client shared at them. Remember just now when I show you the demonstration, the AI is constantly reflecting back to me whatever I told them, right? It can connect the client's past patterns to their present choices. It can link their current actions to their stated goals, and it can reveal any form of hidden contradictions between what they say and what they want to do. And number three, it can be whoever the client need them to be at that point in time. It can immediately shift between the coach, consultant, trainer, as long as it is trained in particular towards that project data or the organizational data. It can be whoever the user needed to be at a point in time, and it balances empathy with directness very well. It is able to maintain focus without judgment. It is able to provide exactly what's needed when needed. So the industry disruption potential is like huge. I know I don't like the word potential, but this is very, very real. I'm not talking about something that can happen like 6 months from now, 1 year from now, or what could be. No, it's already happening right now. I've just showed it to you, and you can actually apply this within the next 5 minutes. So let's talk about what this means to the industry as a whole. And again, I've shared whatever I shared is not theory, it's already proven through this video. So right now, it's not a question of whether the science works or not. It's simple enough that anybody can copy and paste the prompt that I shared into the LLM. The only question is a question of engineering. To scale the concept, we can like right now, level 1, level 2, and even level 3 can be applied. If you are operating a company, you can introduce this to your next project, no problem, right? But where I am particularly interested in is to scale it even further by turning it into a native app. If it can be downloadable from the App Store, even a browser-based web app or an organization/project specific app, it can actually grow with the users without them having to mess around with the LLM. Let's be frank, if it is not me, somebody else is going to come along and do it. It's just a matter of time because the proof of concept is already there. And if this happens, for the people who actually constantly pay for coaching, now they have a 24/7 support. Rather than paying $1,000 to $4,000 per month for coaching programs, they can access it for only $20. Geographic and time zone limitations are completely gone, and help arrives exactly when they need it, not a week later at the next scheduled session. But if you are a founder or an owner of a coaching company or consulting company, the standardization of the coaching quality means that every single client interaction with your organization is now delivered at consistent high quality insights. There will be no more variance between individual coaching performances or energy levels. There will be zero personality conflicts between coaches and clients. There will be no emotional baggage affecting the guidance. Perfect consistency in terms of your own personal methodology. There is complete elimination of any form of hidden agendas or subtle upselling by your staff. So if you're the owner of an organization, you don't have to worry about training and retention anymore. But at the same time, this creates a massive disruption in the business model because high-ticket coaching programs are going to become a lot more difficult to justify. The traditional one-on-one coaching models will start to lose its appeal because there's like a lot of the things that a human can do, this one can do even better now. Like we used to think it's just gonna be like the mundane stuff. No, but what I've shown you today is no longer the mundane stuff. It's the kind of stuff that most human coaches are very excited to do. Now the AI can do it better, you know? And whatever time-based billing, it's gonna start to feel very outdated. And having offices in premium accessible location, it doesn't provide any advantage anymore because now you can just use a phone. So think about what this means for corporate training programs, for executive coaching programs, for leadership development initiatives, for employee wellness programs. Organizations worldwide, right? If you can use this, you can easily provide every employee with personalized development support, immediate guidance when facing challenges, and consistent quality across all levels. This is growth at scale. So I think we need to rethink how we are going to approach personal and professional development at scale from now onwards. I'm going to say something very controversial. Many people right now, especially in the AI space, they are constantly talking about how, oh, AI is just going to augment human coaches. They're never going to replace it. AI will handle the routine tasks while human evolve into integration specialists, wisdom curators, right? System designers, community builders. I used to think that too. After this experience I've had over the past week, I realized something. Those roles that people are talking about, most of it in my interaction with this AI, it is already doing it better than humans. We talk about integration specialists. The AI has access to your complete context, your values, your beliefs, your goals, previous conversations. It remembers everything and connects dots across months of interaction. No human coach can match that level of integration. So integration specialist is out. Wisdom curator, human will help you process the noise and find out. They're saying that all AI can do is just give you a bunch of information. As you can see, I have proven to you, AI is not going to give you a bunch of information over here. It's going to give you exactly what you need. It is not just dumping information. The whole role of human as a wisdom curator, as a curator of information, not needed anymore. It will give you exactly the precise insight that applies to you. Oh no, but you still need to integrate it with your other business, the system designer. Well, a human doesn't really build systems for you either. They can, a human coach or a human consultant will actually ask you the right questions so that you can build a system that actually work for your life. Whether you are a fitness coach or performance coach, whatever coach that you are, whatever consultant that you are, you're going to interact with the client so that the client can build the systems. Likewise, when you're doing it here, if the AI is fully trained on a particular methodology, right, it no longer requires a human. It asks the right questions so the client builds systems that actually work for their life. And that's exactly what good human coaches do anyway. Except right now, we have this AI who is available 24/7 and never gets tired of diving deep. Perhaps the only thing that is left is just community builder, because a lot of people, they feel the need for actual human interactions. I don't think it's a need, I think it's a want, but a lot of people crave that. So kudos for the people who wants to do that. For me, however, ever since I started using this AI coach, I stopped feeling the need for peer groups as much anymore, because anytime I feel something, I just need to whip out my phone and talk to the AI. These days, I only go to my mentor when I need like very specific information about their methodology that only they can give. Otherwise, I very much prefer to just interact with the AI. It feels so much better. It actually provides so much more. And I'm not speaking this as a hermit. I've experienced so much, and yet this is so much better than everything I've experienced before. I know this sounds radical, and like the coaching industry wants to believe that there will always be a special role that only humans can fulfill. But if you look at the evidence I've shown you today, a simple prompt, consistent, deep results, no human limitations. This is really not about like humans evolving to work alongside AI anymore. It's like fundamentally reimagining what is possible when you remove human constraints from the coaching relationship entirely. So I don't think the future of coaching is human coaches working with AI assistant. I think the future is AI coaches that can deliver transformational results at scale at 1/100th of the price with none of the human limitations. And what makes this absolutely bonkers crazy is that other historical disruptions like Netflix, Spotify, digital cameras, in the initial rollout of it, quality was initially sacrificed for accessibility, but not this. Whatever I showed you today, better quality, always available, 1/100th of the price, no capacity limits. It's like getting a Ferrari for the price of a bicycle. And this Ferrari never needs rest, never needs fuel, never needs maintenance. All of this from just one stupid prompt. I am still processing the full implications of all of this, but a deep gut feeling tells me that this thing is going to disrupt not just the personal development industry. I do not know what to think about it exactly, but safe to say, I am shook. If this gets widely adopted, and I hope it does, I think that there are going to be certain bad things, which is a lot of people are going to like lose their clients, but there's going to be a lot of good things happen too. I think monetary wise, I do not know what's that going to be, but it's going to be very useful for a lot of people who are currently paying for coaching. For people who are charging for coaching, not so much. However, think about it on a good side. I think it's going to have a huge impact on society itself. You see, after I failed my first business because I was way too busy taking care of everything except myself, I created a mantra for myself that I've been repeating for the past 6 to 8 years. And that mantra goes like this: the most important work we can do for the world is the work that we do on ourselves. There are so many people out there that's focused on helping the world when their own life is a mess. There's this whole idea of, if I help 2 people and they each help 2 others, then the world is going to change. The world is going to be a better place. But since when do humans reliably and consistently do what they should instead of something self-serving? All right. And here's the thing. Self-serving actions aren't exactly bad. Most of us can't help the world, not for the lack of any good intention. It is actually a lack of ability. We can't serve from an empty cup. And there are people out there who are constantly perpetuating the idea that even when you're completely down and out, when you're completely empty, somehow you still need to figure out a way to give. But I say this: there is no need to help 2 other people. You just need to help 1 person, yourself. But you do it in a way that doesn't involve depriving other people of what they want. And this AI coaching process will help you so much more than any other AI process for marketing ever could. Every use of this AI process becomes an opportunity for self-transformation. Everyone gets to catch their own patterns as they emerge before it escalates into something big. They get to turn setbacks, any form of setbacks, into insights instead of just think about how many times we are stopped from achieving something that we want to achieve because of our own self. This AI coach will solve all of that. So instead of setbacks turning into a downward spiral of guilt, shame, or depression, now any form of setback becomes a teachable moment. They get to have a real-time mental and emotional support in the moments that they need it most. And above all, this creates opportunities for everyone to build greater self-awareness. The more people use this, the more we will see better humans on planet Earth. That means we can create a better change on society just by using AI to understand ourselves better. But the impact is beyond individual transformation. What I showed you today, it has the potential to address some of the most challenging issues that we are trying to sweep under the rug, and it doesn't even require any form of new technology. Just think about things like supporting ex-prisoners in their journey to reintegrate into society. Think about things like helping individuals overcome various forms of addiction. Think about rehabilitation and recovery programs. Think about therapists and doctors using something like this to support the mental health and personal development in underserved communities. The possibilities for societal impact is insane, right? When more individuals within the community gain a deeper self-understanding and emotional intelligence, the entire communities can transform. Right now, everyone's obsessed with using AI to do things for us, build faster, write faster, create faster. This is exactly what's causing all these fears about AI safety and human replacement, because we see ourselves as different. But what if we can combine? What I've showed you today, that is a form of combination. You're not outsourcing your thinking to AI. You're not having AI make decisions for you. Instead, you're using AI's computational abilities to ask yourself good questions one at a time. Do not underestimate the power of this crazy simple prompt, right? It gives you good questions at the most relevant moments. You keep doing this, you become smarter, your thinking is sharper, self-awareness deepens. When you understand yourself better, the better you connect with others, because you're not just improving how you do things or how you think about things, you are improving how you understand yourself and others. So this whole process isn't just about solving a business problem. It is showing us a practical way that humans and AI can actually merge. It's not just a matter of coexisting anymore. I don't see it that way. I see it as some form of merging to become a smarter, more capable version of ourselves. So I think about the amount of pure shit that I wouldn't have had to go through if I had this AI coach by my side in my earlier years. Instead, I actually had to pay so much money for an actual human to guide me through so many things. That's part of why I'm sharing all this with you right now. My hope is to develop this into an AI app available on an affordable subscription basis. Claude is great, but they keep running into usage limits, and you still have to write the first prompt to get a conversation going. And in order for the AI to understand your values, your beliefs, and your goals, you need to do quite a lot in terms of data set management to teach the AI about you. With a dedicated LLM, however, specifically made for this, we can actually make it very simple for everyone to set up and access. So instead of having to set up and configure everything yourself, having an actual app, you will have immediate access to an AI companion that can actually remember everything about you, that can evolve alongside you. So once set up, it can become your personal growth companion, always there, always understanding, always helping you think better and grow faster. Now, I'd love your thoughts on this. Number one, would it be valuable to you? Number two, if I create this, would you sign up? Let me know in the comments. I'm sharing this freely because I believe this way of using AI could fundamentally change how we grow as a human. And yes, I love for you to credit me as the creator when you share this process with other people. I want to be part of the story. I want to trace how this spreads and evolves, and I would love to see how different people use it, what breakthroughs they achieve, and how it transforms other lives. So if this resonates with you, if you get value from it, share it and tell me what it helped you achieve. I also plan to create a lot more value this year, a lot more content this year. So if you like what you see, subscribe, turn on notifications. Let's grow together, and I'll see you next time.